So I think the transition from purpose as a set of words, purpose as something sitting on the shelf, and purpose as a live, active experience in the organisation, it takes time. It takes what we've discussed before, authentic leadership, courageous, open leadership. But actually, people are on your side. In our experience, somewhere between 90 and 95% of people in every organisation we've measured fundamentally want to believe their company stands for something important. They want to go to work with a sense of meaning. So the key question then is, how do you allow them to actually believe that the company stands for something? What we observe in organisations is you will have pockets where purpose is genuinely active. I mean, this is not some kind of abstract idea. People go to work every day thinking, we believe in this, and they are dramatically better in terms of employees. They're happier, they're more meaningful, they're more joyful, they're much more loyal, but they're also more productive. They're more committed. They because for the obvious reason that they believe this thing is theirs, that they have a sense of ownership of this purpose, and it matters to them. There are pockets of those, but the much larger area of the organisation is a sort of sense of kind of beige uncertainty or confusion. And what we genuinely find cuts through that is understanding, measuring the reason for that lack of clarity or belief. And it often comes down to trust, that people hear the words but they don't see it in action, so they don't really trust it. So the answer to how you take it off the shelf and bring it to life is you rebuild trust. And organisations that we've worked with who've been very courageous around this, essentially what they've done is been very open and vulnerable, and they've coached their leaders to create trust. It's not about shouting about purpose. That makes no difference. It's about explaining why the company exists, but having created a world of trust. Why does this matter to you as an individual, and how can we as a company make that meaningful to you? The second thing is to allow people to really feel it's theirs, to make it relevant to them. We see a lot of measurement where people are kind of not engaged because they understand it, they quite like it, they just don't think it's theirs because it's never been allowed to be theirs. It's absolutely critical that people feel organizational purpose, that sense of meaning, that why we deserve to exist is not ours but yours. It's everybody's. You should take ownership, because as soon as you cross that threshold to ownership, emotional ownership of that the job is done, people then feel commitment. What stops that? Well, either they're confused or they don't trust it. It's only those two things. So you've got to work on either, well, do you understand this? And do you really see that this is how we're driving the company? And of course, if you're not driving the company like that, then it's never going to work. You've got to believe it. If the leadership doesn't believe it, then forget it. But if the leadership believes it, they have to demonstrate it. Or the second thing is they don't trust you, or they don't trust it. Their experience of the organization has been such that they are lacking in trust. And you've just got to work on trust by being open, compassionate, giving them the time, coaching people. It takes time, but the rewards are extraordinary. With the numbers we see, the transformation of individual departments, offices, divisions, who look at it and go, we've got a trust problem, let's sort it. That activates, releases purpose in the organization, and suddenly they're 30, 40, 50, 100% more effective than they had been. And we see big increases in things like revenue, which they never expected. So although you don't do purpose to drive your revenue, one of the outputs of getting this right is that the company is more effective, more productive, people care, they're passionate, that communicates to customers, customers buy more stuff, revenue goes up. This is a genuine win-win, but it requires companies to be courageous and authentic. Otherwise, it's never going to work.